If you've been wanting to watch a sweet Sapphic romance movie, then Polarized from 2023 is an unexpectedly lovely find, and best of all, I have a way to watch it that I'll tell you about at the end of the video. Polarized is about Lisa, who finds herself working at a high-tech hydroponic farm in rural Manitoba, Canada, set up by a Palestinian immigrant family that recently moved into town after her family lost their farm due to illness and crushing debt. Struggling under the burden of earning money for the family, which means she can't pursue her artistic dreams, coming to terms with her family losing their farm and watching her father waste away, her anger comes out in a racially insensitive outburst that sees her manager Dahlia fire her. Remorseful, she apologizes and from there develops a cautious friendship that burgeons into more. Dahlia is dealing with her own issues. She is engaged to her childhood friend, and with the wedding looming, she feels the weight of traditional expectations to give up work and become a mother like her sister, despite her passion for her career. As both women deal with the pull and push of their desires, the intolerance of family, church, and community, they will need to face their feelings and decide what it is that they truly want. If I'd known this was directed by Shamim Sarif, I wouldn't have taken 3 years to watch it. If you don't recognize the name, she wrote and directed I Can't Think Straight in 2007 and The World Unseen in 2008, two Sapphic films that have been enduringly popular. Polarized is her latest film, which apparently is loosely based on Shamim's decades-long relationship with her wife, Hanan Katan, co-owner and film producer of their multimedia company Enlightenment Productions, where they focus on female-led stories. Hanan is a Jordanian of Palestinian origin, while Shamim is a South African Indian who grew up in London. So, if you know their work, you will easily be able to pick out the influences their backgrounds have had on the stories they've told. This, and given that this film is loosely based on their own lives, perhaps it is no surprise then that the relationship between Lisa and Dahlia has a lovely authenticity to it. It's, of course, helped by the chemistry between the actresses, who turned in a solid performance, enough that the progression of their attraction drew me in to the point that when they end up on an unexpected overnight work trip together, I felt a little thrill. It wasn't a there was only one bed trope, but close enough, and I bought that these two women had feelings for each other. The film is in many ways predictable. Nothing about its progression felt particularly surprising. There was no unexpected twist, but what worked was how the story was executed. For all that the movie is dealing with some real and heavy themes that are by no means new to Sapphic film, it's a story that doesn't get too bogged down in it, opting for more subtle explorations of its themes. Throughout, there is this feeling of expectation suffocating them. As long as they stay within the narrow boxes their cultures have placed on them, it remains Lisa's mum's critical, disapproving eye and offhand comments Dahlia's family make that exert pressure to conform as the ladies begin a slow, careful dance around each other. But when they step over the invisible line, the unspoken expectations become something far more overt. To be honest, how Lisa's mum even realised that something was happening at all between them was a surprise to me, given how little she actually witnessed. It is perhaps the one criticism I have of the film, because it did strike me as a little disjointed that she would so confidently jump to that conclusion, since we never have a moment where we see her realise what is going on. She doesn't see anything remotely incriminating. It does, however, lead to a climax that hits hard, which I could well see being distressing to those who have religious trauma, because I certainly felt it and I don't have any. Same goes for the response that Dahlia's family have as things begin to unravel. Being true to themselves is not without consequence, and I could well imagine that these are elements that resemble Shamim and Hanan's life the most. Ultimately, the message is that for all the ladies come from different cultural, educational, and socio-economic backgrounds, they are more alike than they are different, both with their dreams they are fighting for, both with families that place expectations on them, and who do not understand the choice that they make to be true to themselves. Of the films I've seen from Samin and Hanan, this might be my favourite. However, it's been a long time since I've seen I Can't Think Straight or The World Unseen, so I feel like it's time for a revisit of those classics. At any rate, Polarized offered a solid film where all the elements came together smoothly in a way that unexpectedly moved me by the end of the film. It made me think of another film I've enjoyed called Heartland from 2016. I reviewed that a while ago, link in the title cards if you want to check it out. Alongside the obvious crossover of being in a rural part of North America with its conservative leanings, it also, like Polarized, approached its subject matter with a subtlety that I liked. So if you've enjoyed that film, I think you will enjoy this one too. Before I let you know where to watch, I just wanted to mention my Patreon, where I post exclusive videos and have a couple of podcasts currently releasing. So if you want to check it out, I have a link in the description. Now, if you want to watch Polarized, Heartland, or I Can't Think Straight, all three films are currently available on Tubi.com. Tubi is available in multiple countries throughout all of North America, parts of Central and South America, parts of the Pacific, as well as the UK. Be sure to use a VPN if you need one. Until next time, lady lovers.